Okay, so before I show you my week 4 of training, I just want to say a massive thank you to Adidas runners for sponsoring this video series. As you know, I'm an Adidas Runners London captain and very, very proud to be part of the community. And I just want to showcase what the weekly schedule looks like. So on a Monday, it's their signature track sessions, which take place 7 p.m. Currently at Battersea Park for the next few months. Then on a Wednesday, it's a With Women We Run Wednesday evening session. Then Thursday mornings, as you know, I'm there every second week. Notes Coffee St. Martin's, 7 a.m. And it usually goes tempo, tempo, heels, tempo, tempo, heels. Those sessions are absolutely vibing and pumping. And yeah, please come along if you're around. And then on a Friday, it's a Acai Girls Run, which takes place 7 a.m. in Fulham Park. And then the last one is the Long Run, which is on a Saturday at the Flying Horse Coffee Shop, Central London, 9:30 a.m. All abilities are welcome. And yeah, if you're in and around London, like I said, please come along. Would love to have you. You sign up via the Adidas Runners app, which I'll put in the description below. Okay, the next thing I'd like to touch base on is Ketone-IQ. As previously mentioned in my other episodes, I've probably been using this for about 2 months now, and I really believe it is a game changer in the endurance world, and especially the running endurance world. I know it's used by a lot of endurance cyclists out there, and it's becoming more and more popular in the running world. And yeah, what it does is it just really gives you like a bit of a kick physically and mentally. And it almost has like that endorphin release feeling that you feel after session. You get that almost immediately when having one of these. So yeah, if you haven't tried it before, highly recommend. I'll put a discount code in the description below.
Yes, please. Wow, I needed that. You might wonder why I'm so happy if it's just a training session, but after what I went through in my 40k long run on Saturday and the demons I fought, today was just like, thank you for giving me that session. I felt so good. Splits were really good for effort. I felt in control the whole time. I really didn't know what today would bring, considering I got back from holiday last night and yeah, I didn't get back really fresh. Holiday with two little ones is never exactly recovery, but at the same time I think mentally I needed that. Like, I'm a creature of habit and routine, and doing the same thing week in, week out is great, but it does get a bit monotonous. So yeah, to do this session and feel like that is just awesome. Oh man, thank you. And it just shows you, it's a reminder to all of us, like, you've seen this block has gone like this, up and down, up and down. Some sessions have felt awful, some sessions have felt really good, like today. I think in my last blocks, almost all my runs felt good. So I've been in uncharted territory this block, where training hasn't been near perfect, let's say. But let's just hope race day is one of those days where everything clicks. I think doing a bit less mileage yesterday definitely brought the legs to life. Oh, time to jog back and get that protein smoothie in. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Luke here from the running room, here to talk you through a normal session with Nick in the gym. Our main focus at the moment is to try and keep powerful and mobile to be able to manage those bigger mileage weeks that are coming up for Berlin. Sessions will normally start with some lower body power like this complex you're going to see here, which has a heavy kettlebell hinge, a kettlebell swing, and then some consecutive broad jumps, which are progressing from heavier to lighter movements, really trying to fire up the glutes and really expose him to some of those deeper ranges that you're not going to get with running. We're looking at 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps on each of these movements, with the focus on really trying to move nice and smooth. Now moving into some frontal plane movements, which I think are really important for runners. As we spend so much time going in a straight line, it's really important to be able to expose the body to different stresses. Especially someone who's quite tall like Nick, being able to move in all directions is really important, and it's often a better option than just doing static stretching. So if you're feeling like you've got tight glutes, this is a really nice way to work on that. We've used the TRX here just to help out with balance, to get nice and deep into those squats. And then once we've worked on mobility, we're going to move into some lateral skater jumps. The point here is to try and stay nice and low, really pushing off that outside leg, and then being nice and soft to stick the landing, trying to be nice and stable. So a really nice way to work on some foot and ankle strength. And then we get back onto the TRX, just trying to sink a little bit deeper into those squats. So I think we ran through 3 sets of this sequence, but you can do sort of 3 to 4 sets, just trying to improve with each time. And you'll see as we go through the video here, Nick's landings do start to improve. So he's a bit more comfortable pushing off that leg, and definitely much better as he lands coming back through. We're now going to one of my favorite exercises, which is a B stance or a kickstand squat. Here we get to load up the front hamstring eccentrically on the way down before we drive that back foot into the wall to initiate the movement coming back up. This can be done nice and light as a warm-up movement through the glutes, or you can increase the weight like we have here, working that 6 to 8 rep range, work on unilateral strength. Focus here is to try and keep the pelvis nice and neutral and really drive the weight nice and even through the foot. So you'll see how straight Nick's knee is here. And then finally, we get to work on a bit of mobility. So Nick's ribcage is quite stiff. He's got a couple of young kids. I said quite a tall guy, so it makes working through here really important. So we do a lot of extension work on the roller combined with some oblique work here. Once again, just exposing to different movements that we're not going to see in running. So that lateral strength, okay, really important for lateral hip and maintaining that nice trunk position with running. And then we start to go into some more stretching. So you'll see here we've done our mobility work at the end of the session rather than spending a lot of time on static stretching at the start. The reason we're doing this is because we're able to expose the body to some different movements through range. We find now that as we start to come through and really stretch things out in the end, we're already a little bit more mobile. So you're going to get a little bit more out of your more static stretching at the end. And it's a really nice way to calm down the nervous system after a strong session like we've had today. Find this rotational stretch a really nice one for anybody that spends a lot of time sitting at a desk, staring at a computer screen. Okay, so we're trying to reach up nice and tall here. We're going to take a breath out as we're reaching under, right up towards the sky. You're trying to get your rib cage to rotate through, pushing down with the right arm onto the box to get a bit more activation through the shoulders. And just slowly working down the body now, coming into a glute stretch to finish off. Okay, this is a real personal favorite to finish off any session. Okay, holding that for about 5-10 seconds each side. Then we'll do a little bit of work on the treatment table.
Okay, so Thursday's run's done. Nice to run in Hyde Park and switch it up from the usual Battersea every now and then. So yeah, some really good news today and some really not so good news today. Let's start with the good news. So I managed to get a sub-elite entry confirmed for Berlin. And I'm just so grateful for this. Thank you so much to whoever organized it. You know exactly who you are. And what this means is that I'll get drinks en route. So I'll have drinks every 5Ks. And you know what? Like, if I didn't have this, I've probably run with a gel belt, had a few gels and maybe seen 1 or 2 people en route. But this just takes that hassle off of having to think about that all the time. And it could make a few seconds difference, you know, getting regular fuel and drink mix throughout. But in a game where we're chasing 9 seconds over 42.2 Ks, it might make the world of difference. So yeah, I don't think I quite qualified for a sub-elite entry with a 2:20 and 8-second marathon or with a 66:19.5. There's not an exact qualifying standard. It just depends who shows up and how many sort of elites there are. And the elite field is absolutely stacked. Obviously, Kipchoge is back to try and break the world record. There's so many fast people. So to sneak on there with a little drink spot on the table, I'm just so grateful. And it's just motivated me to finish off the second half of this block nicely. And thank you so much once again. Now on to the not so good news. At nursery, there are loads of germs flying around. And my little one was up 3 or 4 times last night. So I decided I was good enough to still do today's run. However, it's not ideal. But at the same time, like, you know, not living the professional athlete life, and that happens to people with families out there. However, we've just got a call to say that she could potentially have chicken pox, which, you know, is a game changer. I really hope that's not the case. But what I've come to realize is that those nursery germs are so strong. Like, you can have the world of vitamin C, probiotics, everything, and those nursery germs can just overpower all of that. So please, can we just stay clear for 4 more weeks? Coming to you live from my couch, and I've just finished my run and finished in my recovery boots. Check out the effect they have. So there's the compression recovery boot, and that's what it looks like afterwards. Wow, increased blood flow, speed up recovery. So easy Friday run done. And yeah, it looks like I haven't managed to escape the nursery germs, unfortunately. Last night I didn't feel great at all, and the resting heart rate confirmed that. So it was 40 last night, my heart rate low. Usually it's around 35, 36, so 4 to 5 beats higher than normal. And yeah, you know what, guys, it's been a tough block, this one. It's definitely been the most challenging of all the blocks I've done. But hey, I keep saying it, us runners love a challenge, and if I can just finish the last 4 weeks strong and get to that start line, giving myself the best possible chance, then I know I can execute it on race day. So the grind continues, and often I get questions from runners saying, should they run when you're sick? What should you do? So first of all, if you are very sick, definitely don't run. The main priority then is to get better. But if you're like me, where your body's actually feeling okay, you can just feel you're not hundreds, you're a little bit under the weather, then yeah, completely fine to keep ticking over. I would say avoid sessions unless you're obviously feeling good, because it's just not worth the risk. So tomorrow, I've got a 4x5K session, finishing off the last 5K with Dulwich parkrun, and another couple of challenges this block, which I knew they would be. Number one, it's my first attempt at a sub 220 with 2 little ones. So yeah, I got a 2.5-year-old and a 4-month-old, and I definitely, it's been more challenging than what I had originally anticipated, just because of the amount of time you need to recover, and when you're not getting that full recovery in, it makes life tougher. And the other thing is, you know, I've still got a growing business that I started pretty much 2.5-3 years ago. So I was in the corporate world before as a banker, and I'm now a full-time coach and founded Best Athletics. And it's absolutely just flying, which is amazing to see. As you know, when you have a start-out business, let's say, it's keeping me so busy, which is great. I love living life at 100 miles an hour. But at the same time, you obviously do need to prioritize training a bit. What I'll do is I'll look to make a new video at some point about the journey to date. I did one a while back, but so much has changed since then. And I'll give you insights into my world, which I'll do after Berlin. Let's focus
on the race, and we'll cover that off afterwards.
Hello, Dulwich parkrun. Here's some drone footage. Thank you very much to Joe from Best Athletics for this. So this is the second lap of a 3-lap course, and you can see me coming right in the background there, weaving from the outside through to the inside on this corner. I ended up running about 50 meters further, which is probably to be expected with the weaving that you do. But yeah, as we know, parkrun's for everyone, and absolutely awesome to see people giving their best efforts. So as you know, I'm a massive fan of parkrun in general, and especially Dulwich Park. I think it's one of the best parkruns in the country. And on this occasion, Joe unfortunately wasn't able to capture the whole race, and I'll showcase to you why a little bit later. But a hint, there's quite a lot of trees around. Here comes Georgie from Hernial Harriers, absolutely flying through. She finished 4th overall in this parkrun in an impressive 16:25. Wow. So while we watch some parkrun footage, I'll speak through my 4x5k session. So I did my 3 sets of 5k prior to parkrun and was able to progress throughout. So my first set I did in 16:39, which was 3:20 average pace. Second set in 16:35, which was 3:19 average pace. And third set in 16:30, which is 3:18 average pace. So nice progression all the way through, playing in and around target marathon pace. Now we'll move to more of an aerial shot of Dulwich parkrun to show you more about what it's about. Okay, so it was always going to be tricky timing the session right, doing my 3x5ks before and finishing off with parkrun. Obviously it starts at 9 a.m. on the dot, and I got to my car at 8:58 for a sip of water. So at that stage I was feeling pretty tired and wondering would I actually even make the start of parkrun. Thankfully, I just made the start of parkrun, and I was able to make this my fastest set of 5Ks. It just shows you what a bit of competition and people around you can do. I finished 2nd and my time was 15:49. Thanks so much to Joe for this footage, and a massive thank you to the marshals at Dulwich Parkrun and just all the parkruns in general. If you were able to get out for a parkrun this past weekend, good on you. Hope you had a good one. Here's a look at my parkrun and what my heart rate is doing throughout the 5k. So I maxed out on 181, which is 96% of my heart rate max. So I gave it a good send on some very tired legs. So this is just about where the footage ends of Dulwich Parkrun. Look out for a tree. It's coming, it's coming. Oh, there it is.
Let's go to the finish. Beautiful. Whoa. Boom. Shakalaka, baby. Another week in the bag. I'm so thirsty. I feel like I could drink this swampy water over there. If it was icy, I swear I would jump in and just bring the body to life. So yeah, nice way to round off halfway through the block. 4x5k session today. 16:39, 16:35, 16:30, 15:49. And given the way I felt, very happy with that. It was tough. Do you know what? All my long runs have felt tough. But then again, what did I expect? Did I expect them to feel easy? I would have liked them to feel a little bit easier. But yeah, just grinding and giving myself the absolute best chance come 28 days time. Yeah, it was just actually so incredible today. At the finish of parkrun, so many people came up to me and said that they love the videos, it motivates them so much, they love the positivity, so on and so forth. So yeah, thanks so much for coming up to me and telling me that. I obviously thrive off it as well. It motivates me. It's like a vicious circle. I'm not always positive, I try to be, but in the marathon game it's so tough that sometimes, you know, those demons get the better of you. But I must say, like, the majority of training is just remaining positive. And yeah, time to try and get the legs firing ahead of the big half next weekend. First week of training, second week of training, third week of training, all 162k weeks. This week 144, 145. Oh my word, I can't wait to have fresh legs. See you next week for the big half.